What's up, guys? This is Chris here, and today we've got what you've all been asking for. This is the Canik MC9 Prime. You guys know I'm a pretty big fan of the Canik series, particularly the Canik Combat and the LS, and this mixes both of them pretty perfectly in my opinion. I'm actually pretty excited about this, and hopefully this will shoot very well because due to the feature set, I mean, I'm pretty excited. Canik sent us this early, but that will not change what happens. You guys will see no matter what, and we are going to be shooting about 300 rounds through this gun today to try to figure out if it's right for you. Now, the new Canik made a pretty big splash at SHOT Show because it was a surprise, and since the MC9 series has been so popular, they keep updating it and innovating it. As you can see on here, we have the Canik Combat textures. We have a more aggressive texture on the grip. We have a magwell, a 17-round magazine as well. It comes with 2 of those, so you get quite a capacity in this tiny little gun. 3.6-inch barrel with 3 ports on top, 2 on the side and 1 on the top. And then we have machining on the slide, again, very similar to the Canik Combat, along with the Shield RMS pattern optics mounting system, of which we have the new SIG Romeo on there. And then we finally, most importantly, have the Canik Combat trigger on there, a new trigger for the compacts, but like I said, this is one of the best polymer frame striker fired triggers on the market. Because of that, not only is it easy to use, but it's also pretty lightweight, and it should, in theory, be very easy to shoot since it has a single type of trigger pull as opposed to a double single action. Very light trigger pull on the Caniks because they're pre-cocked striker designed, so hopefully we'll get some good accuracy and some speed today and see how well it shoots overall. It looks good, it has cool features, all it needs to do now is be reliable, so let's go find out. Before we do that, I do want to mention my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much. It's because of you guys we have cool guns and ammo on the channel, and we really appreciate you. And if you want to support the channel, just go down to the link in the description below. Also in that description is a link to a local shelter in Ames, Iowa. It's the YSS. Those kids could use your help, so please go down there and donate to those kids. So we're using Blazer Brass 115, and sometimes that has problems with comp guns, so we'll see how it goes with this. It's a small enough gun where it shouldn't be a problem, but if it does, we'll switch to Federal 115. We'll zero it here with our SIG optic, and I don't have my SIG tool out here, so hopefully I can find my little Allen key. One of the things that I always have a problem with these micro optics is I'm lazy, and I don't like to carry tiny little wrenches on me all the time, and I like to just do it with a bullet, and I got so accustomed to that with bigger optics, particularly like the Trijicon RMR series. And with these small ones, that always kind of pisses me off because you could just make that a flathead and make that easy for everybody, but instead they made an Allen key because they're SIG. Oh. That had a lot more recoil than I thought it would. Like, for a comp gun, that has a lot more recoil than I thought it would. Getting used to it. I just shot a 2011, so everything else is kind of inferior to the 1911.
Uh-huh.
I just shot a hole in there, and then I'm shooting groups because I'm too lazy to up the target. It's the day after St. Patrick's Day, so if Bubba and I seem a little off, it's because we're Irish. Uh-oh. Okay. It's weird. I mean, it's useful, but it's weird. So we've got a big grip. We've got a lot of texture on the grip. And when I grab the big grip with a lot of texture, I'm like, this is a competition gun. And then it recoils like a Micro 9 because it's a Micro 9 on top and a full-size gun on the bottom. It's very strange. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's weird. So when I'm shooting it, the recoil impulse is kind of all over the place. I don't know if I have ever shot a gun with a comp like this. If you guys see the compensator pattern here, there's like 2 staggered ports on one side and then a big port on the top. So when I normally shoot, what happens is the gun usually goes to the path of least resistance, right? It usually goes away from your dominant hand into your support hand. So you compensate by pushing your grip into your support hand. I drive with my thumb on these small guns, and that's actually why that little pad is there. But this gun seems sort of like it wants to kick over to the right when I shoot. Well, it's not the most accurate gun I've ever shot. I mean, you shot that really well.
I don't know. I don't like that the mag well pushes on my hand.
Yeah.
And then I think that's probably the only thing I don't like about holding it.
I don't need it.
It's amazing.
I thought I wouldn't like it based on the texture. I'm not huge on aggressive texture. I don't mind it.
Yeah. All right, let's get some speed out of this pig. Well, for what it's designed for, I mean, that was pretty legit. I will say that, put a smile on my face. Oh, Bubba gets the other 3 because I'm out of ammo. That's legit. Yeah.
I mean,
good up close.
Yeah. Like you said, for what it's for, obviously, it seems to work well.
So I was having a couple issues with the gun at 50 yards, but luckily this isn't made for 50 yards. It's made for a distance a little closer than that. So let's say somebody's coming at you with a deadly weapon, and all you have is your MC9. Can you handle it? That's the question people are asking. So we'll see. Drop the dildo. Looks like it can. All right, so I think that the Canik MC9 Prime, honestly, I feel like I expected the best gun in the world, and I had to sort of readjust my expectations just a little bit. Back down to reality. One of the biggest issues I had with this video is that the gun I shot before this was the Terran Tactical Pit Viper. Which is like one of the best handguns on earth, and it has no recoil, and the trigger is like 1.5 pounds. So I actually had to shoot a real gun for this, and during the shooting, I actually had to adjust and like reevaluate my overall standards, because sometimes comparison is the thief of joy, in which case this was for a second. Now, when we shot the gun, we shot it with Blazer Brass, we shot it with Federal 115, and then we shot it with some remanufactured ammunition. The gun didn't malfunction with any of those rounds under any circumstances with anybody except for my wife, who was using what I would call a experimental grip.
My new grip is working. Oh, till that. Uh-oh. It's like locked in there.
Yes, it is.
My bad. Apparently not good, because I did it again.
Yeah.
This is all me. Help me. Damn.
So what happens is it gets stuck on the chamber like that because of your new grip here. You don't have enough wrist to hold the gun back, so it's not cycling.
Okay.
And then when that happens, what you have to do is take this lever here and you push it up and you lock the slide back like this, and it takes the pressure off that round inside the magazine from the chamber.
Okay.
You can freely drop the mag, push the round back, slide it up, and load it.
All right. So because I have long nails, sometimes it really hurts my hand, my support hand, and then it causes me to limp wrist. So the other day I tried a new grip where instead of going like this, I just switched the placement of my right hand fingers, and I think I was just going too fast and then loosening my grip. So maybe this is not the right gun for this grip.
Now, I suggested against that grip, but I let her do what she wants. She's a free-spirited woman. And because of that, we had 2 malfunctions. But the gun itself shot incredibly well, and all of us shot it well. Initially, when I first came out, I missed a few at 50, but honestly, I think that was just me, because once we started shooting, it got better and better. Now, some of that, I think, is because we were knocking a little bit of rust off the gun, and initially, when we were shooting the gun, we did have a little bit of hang-up with the trigger pull. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I feel like when I'm pulling the trigger, there gets to a point to where sometimes the trigger gets stuck, and I feel like if I look through the dot, I can kind of see it shoot off to the right. That, I think, completely smoothed itself out through shooting. It did. Just a little bit of rounds, a little bit of break-in process, and we are off to the races. Now, this is a very, very lightweight gun. I think this comes in around 24 ounces. I think it's as light or even lighter than a Glock 19. You get 2 rounds extra capacity, and you get a compensated gun with a much better trigger than you could ever dream of with a Glock 19. Get whatever custom trigger that you can get, whatever combination of springs, whatever combination of face, and you will never reach the level of trigger that you can get just by buying a Canik. And that's how good those Precock Striker triggers are. Not only are they good for accuracy, they're good for reset as well. Now, the serrations on the gun are very good. The fluted chamber is pretty cool. The face on the gun feels really good. And then the aggressive texture on the grip is absolutely excellent. Probably the best texture I've felt on a gun to date, except for maybe the M&P series. This feels very M&P. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. First up, the magazine well is good, but I will agree with Bubs.
I don't like that the mag well pushes on my hand.
For bigger hands, it does really push your hands up into the grip, which I don't love. The second thing I didn't love about the gun is honestly the compensator. I sort of feel like the compensator I was very excited about until I shot the gun.
I think the comp looks cool and everything.
It does.
I
look
like
cool.
the little cuts.
It does look cool, but it makes it so loud too. And I don't know if I feel any recoil reduction personally. I feel like it should recoil less than what it does. So when I'm shooting the gun, I feel like I have to grip way too hard for a gun that's comp. Like if I want the gun to have light recoil, I get a comp, and if it's still got a lot of recoil in a comp, it's got the worst of 2 worlds, you know? And realize that it has about the same recoil impulse to me as the old LS9. Now the problem with that is it adds a huge amount of noise. It doesn't add a lot of blast. We actually shot a little bit right near my face, retention shooting, and I didn't notice a huge amount of blast, but shooting in and around cars, shooting in and around the tires, the noise was pretty crazy. The comp, I feel like it just makes it too loud. Like when we're shooting up and close with everything, it feels like I'm shooting an AR with a brake on it. And I don't know if that's due to the triple ports or not. I think the reality is that you have a 3.6-inch barrel here, and then half of that barrel is compensated. So you're only really running a 3-inch barrel. Maybe that powder isn't burning all the way out, but by the time it reaches the barrel, I have to assume, and you're just getting a lot of boom when you shoot the gun. It's very loud, to the point to where Bubs noticed it almost 50 yards away when he was loading magazines. He's like, wow, does that sound weird to you? And I was like, yeah, it sounds loud. Now, if that's not a problem for you, then so be it. It wasn't a problem for me. Obviously, I wear a double ear pro anyway, and in a self-defense situation, I don't think you're gonna notice it because your life's probably in danger and there's bigger things to be concerned with. That being said, for long-term shooting, I sort of feel like if the gun doesn't get less recoil and it gives me more noise, I'm kind of 50-50 on whether or not I want that. That was just my personal opinion, because all of this is, right? This is just my wife's, mine, and Bubs' opinion. We shoot the guns, we give you our opinion, and that's what they are. I didn't come out here with some sort of insane scientific process and compare the recoil. I was just like, it feels about the same. Now, overall, I think the gun is a really, really good gun. I think that Canik makes one of the best guns for the money. I think the trigger's excellent. gun. I love the grip. I like the fact that you can get this tiny little barrel with the longer grip, because these days I like a little bit of a longer grip on my carry gun, so it's easier for me to grab, easier for me to purchase out of the holster, and honestly, with an extra grip, it's easier to hold on to that bad boy and shoot it accurately at speed. That being said, I don't believe it's the perfect carry gun. I do feel like the compensator needs a little bit of work, and I think that if it were me, I would prefer maybe the twin ports or maybe even the single port comp. That'd probably be the only con. It shot really well, it was extremely fast up close, it was very reliable, and it was very accurate. So overall, an absolutely fantastic gun, probably a 9 out of 10, I would say, for my personal scale. And for most people, they would probably give this a 10 out of 10. Like, if you're used to a standard Glock 19 and you move up to something like this, you're gonna feel like you took a time machine to the 2025s, because this thing is certainly no Glock 19. But sadly, it's not the perfect gun either, at least in my opinion. It does have a big trigger guard, does have great serrations, does come with awesome sights, and it does come with the Shield RMS pattern optic right out of the factory, so it's so close to being the perfect gun, but we'll keep shooting it and find out if my opinion changes. If you want to see me do a versus video with this, or if you really want to see a 1,000 round review, let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please support your Oklahoma shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later before I blow away.